Hi there, it's Grant here. I've got a really interesting video for you today, and it's a bit of an eclectic video because I'm going to talk about quite a few things as well. But the first thing I want to talk about is that the dollar could be under attack and it could potentially crash on August 22nd. And Teeka Tiwari has just bought, and this is all kind of interconnected anyway. But back in May, Teeka Tiwari released a presentation called the Biden Shock of 2023. Just days from now, President Biden could go on TV and announce a national recall on the US dollar. If you have any US dollars in your bank account, you must prepare now or risk losing everything. So what is this all about? So there's two sort of things I'm going to talk about here. The first thing is what Teeka's talking about. Basically, what Teeka's talking about is basically the end of the US dollar, which I think the US dollar in its present form is going to be over. And the reason why I say that, and what Teeka's alluding to, is that the Fed is getting ready to introduce the US digital dollar for reasons that you're going to come to understand in a minute. Because the Fed knows that the US dollar in its current form as a fiat currency is over. Basically, the Fed is basically going to release the US digital dollar. And in many ways, that is not good. And I'll tell you why. This is basically the introduction of central bank digital currencies. And basically, CBDCs are going to be central government or central bank controlled currencies. They're going to be digital. They're like cryptocurrencies, but they're centralized, meaning that the banks control them. And basically, these currencies will sit on your wallet, on your phone, and you can pay for stuff with it. On the face of it, sounds great, but I know a lot of people don't want to move away from that. Obviously, there's very little advantages to these things for the normal people over the current system. But for central banks, there's a lot of advantages because they can control our money and limit what we spend and limit what we buy. And this is why Teeka has shot this video because the introduction of a US digital dollar could mean the end of our financial freedom and maybe even our freedoms. And basically, this is what he's talking about in this video. And basically, Teeka talks about how you can opt out of the US digital dollar. And I'll tell you, basically, Teeka is saying, and others like Robert Kiyosaki said, there's three ways you can protect your money, and this isn't financial advice, but Teeka says, buy silver, gold, or Bitcoin, because they're the only real free assets that are going to hold any value moving forward. Because they're valuable and they always will be valuable. And I think the number one there is probably going to be Bitcoin. And the reason why I say that is Bitcoin is decentralized, meaning no central bank, not one person. No one owns it. So if you hold Bitcoin on your wallet, on your phone, you own it, you control it. You are like your own bank and you can just send people money or pay for stuff. And I think Bitcoin is basically potentially the way out of central bank digital currencies, and they are coming at a rapid rate. And this is why the US dollar is in trouble in its present guise. And I think a lot of Americans don't want to move to a digital dollar. They don't. But unfortunately, the Fed is pushing it that way for reasons that are going to come clear in a moment. But anyway, if you want to watch Teeka's video, I'll leave a link down below. Now, next thing, why could the US dollar collapse or be harmed on August 22nd? Well, this is going under the radar by most people. Basically, what I've got in front of me is the BRICS Summit 2023, the quest for a new world order. The BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. For the past 14 years, these five nations have been creating their own digital currency. And there's rumors now that it's ready to be released to the world. Now, if they do release it during the conference, starting August 22nd, it would be the biggest release of a new currency since the euro. back in the early 90s. So this is a really, really big deal. And as it says here, as uncertainty surrounds Putin's attendance at the upcoming BRICS summit, discussions of a new BRICS currency reflect their pursuit to challenge the dominance of the US dollar. And this is why this collective 5 nations are basically creating their own currency, because they want to they basically want to destroy the US dollar, knock it off the top spot, and they want to become the new world superpower. So there's going to be a massive power struggle here. If they do happen to release this new currency, and I think it's going to be called BRIC, it's pegged to gold, then that will probably send the US crashing, the US markets crashing, and global markets into a tailspin, because countries and investors will be rushing in to this new currency. And the worrying thing is, up to, I think, 70 countries are rushing to be part of this summit, and I think a lot of them want to come on to this new currency. Now, I must stress, we're not 100% sure if they're going to release this currency in this year's summit, but because I think a South African representative said then it's not on the agenda for the BRICS Summit 2023. But at the end of the day, they're not going to say, oh yes, we're going to release the currency, because at the end of the day, they want to keep it under wraps. They want to keep it over, because at the end of the day, they want to shock everyone and basically destroy the dollar. And that is the plan. That's the whole point of why they're creating this currency. Should they release it on the August 4th BRICS Summit, then yes, I think the US dollar could lose a lot of its value, could lose at least 50%, if not more. The last time a new currency was released was back in the 90s, which was the euro. When that was released to the world, global markets crashed and US dollar lost 50% of its value. And if the BRIC or this new currency is released, then I anticipate things will be the same, if not worse. So you have been warned, and this really ties in with what Teeka's saying, different, but it's all tied in. And this is why the Fed is wanting to create the US digital dollar, because it knows the US dollar in its current form is in trouble. And I think should the BRICS currency, this new BRIC currency is released during the summit and the dollar's gone into a tailspin, then basically I think the US government will be forced to accelerate out the US digital dollar to potentially save the dollar. There's a lot going on, so I really think you need to keep an eye on this summit, because it could have profound implications for the US dollar, US economy, US markets and global markets moving forward, should this new currency be announced and formally released. It's a big deal. So you need to keep your eyes on it and be ready for it. So yeah, so that is why on August 22nd, the US dollar could crash, because if this new currency gets released, I think a lot of people think that will happen. And here's a tweet from Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki is one of the world's leading investors. He says, gang warfare, August 22nd, 2023. Approximately 41 nations, possibly even France, gang up in South Africa to de-dollarize the world. Proposal, BRICS nations will lodge BRIC, which is this new currency, their money. One BRIC equal 1 ounce of gold, $3,000. Buy USA. So you can get the gist of Robert's tweet. Basically, if this new currency is released, the US dollar is going to be in big trouble. It could just, it would be financial chaos. But yeah, we just have to wait and see if this new currency is released. But there's a lot of very smart people coming out saying that this new currency is going to be released because it would be very timely, because the war in Ukraine is still going. These 5 nations are no longer using the dollar. So now would be the perfect time to do it. So keep your eyes peeled on this. The last thing I just want to cover is yesterday. SEC asked Coinbase to halt trading in everything except Bitcoin, CEO says. Obviously, Coinbase didn't oblige because they don't think they need to. But this is going to be very, very interesting. And this is really where let me just explain the situation here. The reason why the SEC wants Coinbase to halt trading is because it wants to control crypto. At the end of the day, this is why central governments and the central banks of the world want to roll out their own central bank digital currency. And I think the vision is a one world, one global, centrally controlled digital currency for everyone to use. And why do they want to do that? Because they want to control our money. End of. At the end of the day, these things, central bank digital currencies, whether it's a digital dollar, digital pound, brick currency, or maybe in the future there's going to be one global digital currency. At the end of the day, these things are programmable. They're controlled by the central banks, meaning that they can put limits on your account. They can put negative interest rates on your account, meaning they can shrink your balance. Basically, they can control your money and what you spend, so they aren't good. And this is why the SEC wants to target crypto, because cryptos are decentralized. No one controls them. No one owns them. No one issues them. So this is why the SEC is going after the crypto industry, because it doesn't want people to use decentralized cryptos, because then it can't control what people spend and buy or whatever. So this is why this is a big deal, because I think if the SEC manages to get control and regulate crypto, the crypto industry in America could be under threat big time. And I think if the SEC gets control of crypto, then other countries will follow suit. And yeah, crypto won't look like it is now, but I don't anticipate that to happen because it would just cause chaos in the crypto industry. So there's a whole lot going on here. So yeah, I just wanted to bring you an eclectic mix. So obviously we've got Teeka warning about the dollar recall and the introduction of the US digital dollar. We've got the potential collapse or harm for the US dollar should the new brick currency come in. And we've got SEC going after crypto, so because they want to control it, basically so they can bring in their own central bank digital currencies. So a lot to keep your eyes on. There's a lot happening, and I think we're basically walking into a new era of money, whether we like it or not. And it's our choice whether we choose to use decentralized cryptos or we use the government digital money. I know which one I am choosing, and I think you will probably be similar to me too. So if you want to watch Teeka's video about the Biden shock of 2023 and the national recall of the US dollar, I'll link to the video down below. But if you're just fed up with all of this craziness going on and you're worried about your money and how to protect your wealth, why not join Teeka Tiwari's Palm Beach letter, where he shows you how to opt out of a digital dollar so you can protect your wealth moving forward. And basically, he basically shows you how you can do it by investing in gold, investing in the technology that's going to be driving these digital currencies, and basically investing in crypto coins such as Bitcoin. Now, I've been a member of this now for 18 months. I love it. It's really helped me. Help me get into crypto, and now I understand why crypto and other investments are so important for protecting my wealth, especially in these crazy times that we live in. And I think as well in the Palm Beach letter, you get a full crypto master course which teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. Once you've gone through it, you'll be able to buy, sell, and trade crypto like a professional. So yeah, why not join the Palm Beach letter? It's only $49. Which is a 75% discount on the normal price, and that will lock your membership in for 1 year, and you get a 60-day money-back guarantee as well. So I'll link to this down below if you want to join the Palm Beach letter. many do, especially with, we don't know what's going to be happening in the next 6 weeks with the dollar and the introduction of a digital dollar and everything. So I think we need to look at alternatives in order to protect our growing wealth moving forward. And Teeka Tiwari does a great job in his Palm Beach letter. So why not join? It's just $49. Link below in the description and the comments. Anyway, thanks for joining me. Hope you found this video useful. Why not like, why not subscribe for more content like this? So yeah, all I've got to say is thanks for joining me. Hope you found the video useful and informative, and I'll speak to you soon.